Everything Emma. This is about one of the Ziz cult members. Emma Borhanian, 31, also known as Amir Dayan, was the first child and opted not to say his parents' name, but his father does have the same last name, Borhanian. Emma also has siblings. Emma was born in 1991, spent most of his childhood years in Hillsborough, North Carolina, attended school at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. His first employment was at McKinsey. His code was so informative, they still use it today. He would later become a software engineer at Google and rose to the ranks of that company and retired in his mid-20s. Must be nice. Emma was an advocate for justice, animal and human rights activist, and transgendered rights. Emma went to California and met with friends who studied philosophy and protested mistreatment and begun preparations for a life of systematic dependence, building their own homes off the grid, grew their own food, and raising self-awareness. Now, somehow, either through the Center of Applied Rationality or Jack's Ziz blogging, Emma would meet Jack and become a Zizian and start to live his life as a cult member. So you guys remember, first they lived in a tugboat, probably lived other places too, and they grew tired of the tugboat living. Then that's when they started to occupy Curtis Lynn's property. And he had a bunch of these Zizians staying on his property where they had got moving trucks, and they turned the moving trucks into places to stay. And they said they really wanted to go off the grid. They wanted nobody to know where they were. And this was in Vallejo, California. So while renting from Lynn, they decided one day not to pay the money and organized this plan to bum rush him when he tried to evict him off his property for non-payment. That's when, Mr. Lin would get impaled through his eye with a samurai sword, and he's partially blinded in that one eye. He managed to take his gun out, shoot 2 people, injuring one and killing Emma. And a lot of this information I got from Emma's mother, where she did a memorial about Emma's passing. Now, Emma's mom said that Emma's life was, quote, cut short in the pursuit of justice, end quote. If that helps you sleep at night, Emma mom. Now, I don't normally would take a dig out at somebody that just lost a child, but this was not the pursuit of justice. Emma and the crew, they either didn't have the money or didn't want to pay the money. That's all it was. They had moving vans that they were living in. I'm sure they were still able to move them. They should have just moved their ass off the property. You know what I mean? And that's it. But they didn't. They wanted to, attack this man, which they did, and ended up, leaving him in the hospital. And I'm going to speak more about Lynn too, and when I do some more upcoming Ziz members. But no, this was not the pursuit of justice at all. But again, if that helps you sleep well at night. But that was what I got from, Emma's life. So it seems like Emma was, trans, going through that situation, and then got up with these people, fell through the wrong crowd, and the mother is trying to make it look like it was something else, but it wasn't. And if you have close friends, I'm sure they're reading about it and seeing about it, and they know that this was all initiated. They all tried to attack and harm this landlord. And Emma instead got his life taken from him. A life cut short out of nonsense.